Hi, in this lesson, we'll talk about best practices for finding and fixing bugs in your programs. Debugging is a process we use to fix bugs or problems that find their way into our programs as we develop them. Debugging can be similar to reading an I Spy book. You're looking for something small, something that isn't quite right in a big program. It takes some patience and focus. So why do we learn about debugging? You might think that you can just simply avoid bugs by writing good code. There are things that you can do to try to avoid errors, like keeping your code neat and organized, but the truth is everyone, even experienced programmers, write bugs. Because of this, debugging is the most important skill programmers learn. There are different types of errors that can occur in a program. Syntax are the rules for how to write code. The syntax can differ for different programming languages. If there's an error in the syntax, the program won't run properly or may not run at all. A logic error is an error in the code that doesn't keep the program from running, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. These are usually harder to find and fix when compared to syntax errors. When a runtime error occurs, the program starts running but then crashes later on. The crash could be caused by player input that runs a function that has an error. Let's take a closer look at syntax errors. A syntax error is a mistake in how the code is written. Can you spot the syntax error here on the screen? Here we're using two words to initialize the variable. This isn't allowed. A variable name has to be only one word, so the program lets us know that there's an error. All right, all fixed. This is the correct way to initialize and declare a variable. Can you find the syntax error in this one? We are missing the concatenation symbols. Let's add these in. Now this will work. The computer now understands what you want it to do. Logic errors can be harder to spot. The code on the screen will run with no errors, but it may not run as intended by the programmer. There are two players and we want to print their combined scores. But when we run this program, the total score printed is 18. It should be 9 plus 5, which is 14. So what's going on? Where's the error? It looks like we have player 1's score being added to itself instead of adding player 1 and player 2 scores. Let's fix this. Now when we run the program, it prints 14 and runs as intended. Problem fixed. There are some strategies that make it easier to debug a program. Keeping your code neat and organized can help a lot in finding a problem. This includes adding informative comments, using descriptive variable names, and by using functions to avoid repetitive code. Most programs you develop will perform multiple actions. You can use comments to section out your code and only run it bit by bit. This will help to identify the problem, which will make it much easier to fix. If you see here, line 6 is causing an issue. Well, let's comment out this line and then run the code. If all else works, then this is the line that you should focus on fixing. And again, we're missing our concatenation symbols here. Well, now it's your turn to explore some more and debug some programs.